Welcome to Solutions with Courtney Anderson. I'm Courtney Anderson, and this is episode 223. 223 episodes of this program. Thank you. It is a sheer delight to have this program, and it was something that was beta tested intermittently for actually a couple of years, and then it launched, and within the first few months of launching and committing to this program as a ongoing resource, we have 5 figures, right? So between 10,000 and 99,000, depending on the day, of people who have downloaded this program around the world. Not this episode, but this entire show. And that is amazing. And we're just getting started. So thank you. Today in episode 223, which again is shocking, we have a show that's part of our Help Situation Spotlight series. And a Help Situation Spotlight series is what it sounds like. People and reach out and share with me things that they want help with. And so if you have a show topic or an issue, please go ahead and send that in. You go to CourtneyAnderson.com and contact me. Again, like I said, you never know how things will turn out. You know, you have dreams and hopes and expectations and desires and goals, but you just never know. And this vehicle, this show, is just something that has exceeded every expectation I've had. So thank you. And again, continue to let me know what topics you would like. This comes from a community member of the show today, which of course is, I am uncomfortable around people more successful than I am. I am uncomfortable around people more successful than I am. That's our topic. And this is a topic that is challenging for me. It's challenging for me because inherent in the topic are so many issues that cause me concern. So let's delve in. One of the things that causes me concern is this idea of, quote, success. And we've talked about this in so many different shows. So, of course, this is episode 223. And we've got several different series, right? So this is our Help Situation series. We've got a series on finance or financial fierceness. We've got a series on what happens after you surpass your goals. You know, what now? It's our Satisfaction Saturation series. We have series that are specific to human resource heroes. That's our HR heroes. Hangout. We've got a series just focusing on our management magicians or management magicians series. So we have lots of series and we're adding new series. And the reason that we do that is because there's so many things that we need to address within our 3 main areas, which are business, legal, and life. Within my parameters of focusing on the joyful art of business and surpassing your goals, and the fact that I'm the workplace relationship expert. That's my sort of worldview. And it always sort of tugs at me emotionally when we're doing shows that come from painful places. And this is one that my interpretation of the show topic is pain. This idea of someone being more successful than we are, right? The show topic says, I'm uncomfortable around people more successful than I am. Well, the reason why I said it's an issue and it tugs at me is, hey, wait a minute. All of us, every one of us humans, right? And there are over 7 billion of us at this time of recording. We all have people that are more successful than us. There's not a single one of us, any of us. If all 7 billion of us got on one big, video call, that would be one huge video call now that I think about it. But even if we tried to have that, like, hey, let's all get together at one time and just chat, hang out. All of us, every one of us, from the most wealthy person to the person literally with less than nothing, struggling for basic hydration and nutrition. We all have people that are more successful than us. So the show topic presupposes that there would be some either option where you wouldn't be around people more successful than you, or that we're all doomed. What I'm saying is, I'm around people who are more successful than I am all the time, and so are you. If we viewed that as a negative thing, right, and then said, wow, I'm uncomfortable. I'm so uncomfortable around this. What would we do? We would never be around anybody. And even if you sat by yourself, even if you said, okay, fine, I'm committed to a solitary life, I will never be around another human. Unless you cut off all contact, right? So no incoming entertainment, no incoming internet, no outgoing communication, right? I don't want no books, no poetry, even in your thoughts. If you're thinking about other people, right, and you're thinking, oh, they're more successful than me, I'm thinking about them, you're still in trouble. And that's not a viable solution. Come on. Everyone is around people more successful than us. That's life. You may have someone who's quote successful, and that term itself is so inaccurate, right? But we use it because it's a shorthand way to convey information. We've done programs where we talk about this concept. What does it mean? Who defines you? Who decides what success is? Is it you? So if I say I'm successful, is that enough, quote unquote, or does somebody else or some group somewhere have to sign off on a piece of paper or tell me or give me a ribbon or something? Like how do I know if I'm successful or not? That's a whole murky question. My argument often is that we're going to define it by our own metrics. And there are some broad outlines, right? So, we're going to be mindful of law. And I have, this is also part of my worldview, right? I'm a lawyer. So, yeah, if I'm out, doing illegal things and violating a whole bunch of laws and I'm in prison, then that's probably showing I've made some, not great choices. So that's like an easy way to start, being, quote, more successful. So if I'm not incarcerated, and I'm not talking about people who are, incarcerated falsely. Okay, I'm talking about people who are incarcerated because they actually, did, violate the law. If I'm not incarcerated, that's to some level a degree of success. I argue in many of our discussions that you're alive. That's a degree of success. I don't care what you did yesterday or 10 minutes ago or 2 seconds ago. Right now is a chance, is a whole nother opportunity for you to define your future and your present. I believe in all this stuff. Obviously, if I didn't, I wouldn't say it. So this whole sort of morass of people are more successful. Well, everybody's in that situation. There's not anybody who's not in that situation. And even if somebody's, quote, successful in one area, let's say there are someone, they're like, oh my goodness, I've won the prize. I've won the highest prize you can win in this field. This shows that I'm a genius and I'm awesome. Okay, great. Is there somewhere else in your life where you feel people are more successful than you? There's not a person I know or I've read about who exists on this planet who does not harbor some sort of mental condition, who would say, oh no, I'm flawlessly the best at everything. I'm the best physical specimen. I'm the best athletic in all athletic endeavors. I'm the best in every single area of math and physics and poetry and painting and horseback riding. And come on, look, no. That's just not even logical at any level. But that's kind of the rabbit hole people go down when they start getting so negative about things that don't even exist. Everyone is around people more successful than us all the time. That's life. Where I feel that this comes from a painful place, my interpretation is that the person who perceives this topic they judge themselves negatively. And they look into their experience and they feel like, oh, other people are, quote, more successful. I'm, quote, less. All of that is arbitrary. And then they say, well, because of that, now I'm uncomfortable. Now, this, of course, is moving us in the wrong direction. One of the things that's the principles of all of my programs is the idea of surpassing our goals, right? Which which entails a lot. First, you got to figure out what your goals are, which is the hardest part for most people. Once you figure out what they are, then you have to have the confidence and assertiveness and belief in yourself to be able to articulate them to yourself first and then to other people at some point. Then you have to be able to come up with a strategy. So one of the things in the area of business, and that's what I teach. I teach at universities. Now I'm on the teaching at the University of Maryland and University College. I teach in the graduate business curriculum for students. And one of the things that I've been focusing on for almost just about 15 years now is strategy, because that's a key foundation of everything in my practices, right? And it's one of the key principles in business. Like, what's the plan? How are we going to get there? Right? So figuring out where we're going, and the goal is one thing, and then we got to figure out how we're going to do that. The strategy is everything. And then, of course, we have to execute. And so I was, honored. It's one of the things in the materials and on my bio is the Strategic Leadership Award that I was fortunate enough to receive in Mumbai, India, right, from the World Human Resource Development Conference. And that's because I've been doing this work for, like I said, quite a while. And it's imperative that we apply strategic thinking to so many different areas of our life. Because without it, again, it's like if I'm going to say I'm going to go on a trip in a vehicle. Okay, cool. Where are you going? Oh, okay, well, I don't know. Well, figure that out first. Otherwise, why get in a vehicle? If you just get in a vehicle and start driving around somewhere, where are you going to end up? Who knows? So if you then look and say, okay, I looked on the map and I'm going to Toronto. Okay, awesome. Okay, now the strategy is how we're going to get from wherever we are right now, wherever you are, to Toronto. Do you have a map? Do you have a plan, or are we trying to go the fastest way? Are we trying to go there on the most scenic way? I mean, we need a strategy. How long is this going to take? How many hours do we plan to drive a day? Are we going by ourselves? Are we sharing it? Are we bringing our pet cat? What are we doing? We need a strategy. And then you got to do it at execution. So one of the things when we talk about surpassing our goals, right, which of course is sort of a more concise way of touching on these issues, is you need to constantly be focused on knowledge acquisition. Part of it is I don't know what I don't know. And the only way to address that is to keep learning new stuff. The reality is, as I learn new stuff, then I constantly will be in a situation where I have no clue what I'm trying to, when it's new, I'm trying to process it. So there's a learning curve. And there's a show, right? We did a show, and one of the show was about the smartest thing you can say is I don't know. The reason why it's smart is because you don't know what you don't know. As you're trying to learn something new, the only way you're going to actually get accurate data and information is by getting people who know more than you to teach you. You may do that by reading something they wrote. You may do that by being part of a video program or webinar. You may do that by taking a physically class with them, or you may do that by working with them if you can, retain their services, whatever. But I need somebody to teach me. I can only teach myself so much. So that's the first step. But then I sort of have a base. But if I really want to go to the next level and surpass my goals, I need somebody who knows more than I do. That means I have to say stuff to them like, hey, I don't know. Can you help me with this? And then shut up and let them teach me. And this is everything in life. So I don't care if it's, an issue regarding, the revenue in your firm, or, learning how to, cook a fantastic dessert. I don't care. Whatever it is, there's stuff to learn. And there's always more to learn than you can possibly think. That's the beauty of 7 billion plus humans thinking, creating, and being in this dynamic environment we are in as a species. I love all this. When I wake up each day or night, depending on my schedule where I am in the world, it's almost always with anticipation. Mostly good anticipation. Sometimes I'm worried about a specific thing, right? But I want to see what happens, and I'm always appreciative that I have a chance to see, for another minute or maybe an hour or a day, who knows, but it's interesting. So we know that when you want to learn more things, you need knowledge acquisition. You need knowledge acquisition. You got to be around people who know more than you do. People who know more than you do are, I would argue, by default, they're more successful in that than you are. So when someone's teaching me something, right? For example, I'd had a situation where my washer machine. So you have a machine, an appliance. You put you hook it up to the water and everything in your place, and you put your clothes in there and the detergent and everything, and then you push the buttons, and then it cleans it, and then when it's finished, you take it out of there, and then you dry it. Whether you dry it outside or you have another machine, you dry it, and if you need to dry it inside. So my washer broke, like it quit working. So very elaborate situation, because here's the thing: I don't know anything about washing machines. I've never built one. I've never even looked inside of one. I don't really know anything about them. I knew a little bit about it because I purchased one based on doing some research about a good brand. I went to in the States, Consumer Reports is one of these nonprofits. They don't take any advertising. That I've been I pay to subscribe to that because it's worth it, because they have a track record of not always but often good data on products. They test and do all this, and they as I said, not always, but often have, it's not biased. They don't take ads, and they're just telling you, like, we did all these tests. Here are the tests we did. Here's the data on washing machines or whatever. And I often will go look, and that's one source, not the only one, but I'll often use that as a source when I'm purchasing something I don't know anything about. Fast forward, the washing machine broke, and because it was a relatively new one, it has computers in it, right? So multiple people come to repair it. It's kind of a long story, but at one point was interesting. When they first came out, I stood there because I wanted to see it, because I'm curious, because I don't know anything about it. And as they opened it up, which I have never done, right? Like I opened the part, the door where you put your clothes in, and the part where you put your, detergent or bleach or whatever. But I've never taken screws off and opened the whole thing, because I didn't have a need or an interest. When they did so, though, they started, the repair person, and this is a whole other area of expertise, right? Starts showing me there are literally circuit boards in there. I mean, obviously, I understood there was something in there, obviously, of that nature, because it has a little digital, display or whatever. But I had no idea it had two, right? Different boards and all. I mean, it's really quite elaborate. It was really interesting. Okay, so the point is simply this: if I made the argument I'm uncomfortable around people more successful than I am, I would never learn anything. Because I'm always around people more successful than I am. Sometimes I'm around people who, everyone is more successful than I am in every way. Sometimes only, mostly. Sometimes I know a little bit more than other people, but whatever. There's always going to be a situation where people are more successful than I am. If I didn't have the curiosity and the confidence to stand here and say to the repair person, "Hey, I don't know anything about this," and ask questions, because it was interesting. Partially because, look, maybe no, oh please, hoping for the best outcome. Even if that machine never has a problem again, right? Then it doesn't hurt me to learn a little bit more about machines in general, about that machine in general, about some of the common things that go bad with the machine, whether it's the circuit, the computer circuitry, or the cable connections or whatever. Why not? I'm alive. I like learning things. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm canceling the show, and I'm going to go devote the rest of my life to becoming, trained and certified in appliance repair, although that is interesting. But I'm going to learn as much as I can when I can, because it's an opportunity. And I know, standing there talking to the professional, I don't know anything. That's why I say that. I don't know. And I ask questions. I'm not uncomfortable. I am beyond comfortable. Because if I'm around people who are more successful than I am, first of all, I'm alive. And secondly, that's a good thing. I should be around people who are more successful than I am. Otherwise, how will I learn? I'm not going to acquire new knowledge from people. Look, if I went and found people who were, quote, as successful as I am and recharged the washing machine, then that would mean we would have both just stood there. I didn't even know where they had power tools, the professionals who came to fix it. I didn't even know where, and some of these are sort of hidden, so that I guess aesthetically, it's pretty, so you don't see all the soldering and the the screws and everything just from the outside, I wouldn't even know where to start with this. So if I went and found somebody who was, quote, as successful as I was, and we just both stood there looking at it, not working, what would have happened? Nothing. I'm only uncomfortable when I'm not able to move forward towards surpassing my goals. I am not able to move forward towards surpassing my goals when I surround myself with people who know as much as I do, or, quote, or as successful as I am, because then we're both going to do nothing. I'm only able to learn and to grow and to have a richer life and an experience when I'm around people who are, quote, more successful than I am. That's the whole purpose of life. That would be like a little child, right? Like a 7-year-old child saying, you know what? Adults just think they know everything. Adults always talk to me, like I'm a kid. And I'm just going to only be around people just like me. We would all think, well, that's silly. How are you going to learn anything when you only hang out with other 7-year-olds or people who have about the same knowledge base? Maybe some of them will be 5 years old, maybe some of them will be 9 years old, whatever. They'll be in your age range, right? Just the idea, well, the adults act like they know everything. First of all, they don't act like they know everything, but they do often know more than a 7-year-old, only because partially they've been on the planet longer and they have, more skill development. So they can teach you stuff because there's so much you haven't done because you've only been here 7 years. And if you think that you feel uncomfortable because they, quote, are more successful than you are, that's not it at all. Look, you will not learn unless you're around people who can help you learn. And the only way they can help me learn is if they know more than I do. If they know more than I do, then by definition, they're more successful than I am. If I'm around people who are, quote, equally successful or less successful, I am in deep trouble. I mean, deep trouble. Because all we're going to do as a group of 7-year-olds is stand around and we're going to share knowledge. We have such a limited knowledge. If I'm standing around as an adult looking at a broken washing machine with somebody else who I call, hey, friend, who knows the exact same knowledge of nothing that I know about this, other than when it does work properly to push that one button or whatever. I mean, seriously? We should feel uncomfortable when we're not acquiring new knowledge, because when we're not acquiring new knowledge, we are moving away from surpassing our goals. We're going in the wrong direction. We're not going toward them. We're going away, because I'm either stagnate and I'm not learning anything new, or I could even be regressing, right? Could have had somebody who I called who knows less than I do about washing machines and said, hey, I don't know, maybe we should just pour buckets of water on it from the outside, and then maybe they would have short-circuited it or caught on fire. Who knows how much worse it could have gone, right? Come on, seriously, like there's nothing logical to this idea that, oh, well, they know more than I do, or they're more successful than I am, so I'm uncomfortable. The only thing that would make somebody uncomfortable is because they're not in a healthy place with themselves. I've been in some parts of the world, and there's many more parts of the world that I hope to see while I'm able. I have never had anybody say or heard or witnessed or someone say anything along the lines of, you know what? I don't ever want to learn anything or experience anything or grow in any way. I've never heard anybody say that. Now, there are people who do things that are really counterproductive, but I've never heard anybody say it. And the idea of saying I'm uncomfortable when people have more knowledge than I do is just so self-destructive. The only way you're going to move forward towards your goals is to be around people who know more than you do. When they know more than you do, yeah, they're more successful than you are. But if you hang out with people who know what you know, right, who you feel, quote, comfortable with, what you're saying is you disrespect yourself so much that you have no desire to find out what your true talents and abilities are. You're just going to sit somewhere, like I said, in stagnation, right? And sometimes regression. It gets worse. and there's some cliches. I'm one aspect of my professional speaking career is the idea of what's called motivational speaking, which sometimes people are a bit condescending towards as a field, but actually I don't. But there's so much data that shows how important it is that you are motivated. Now I don't know, and I'm not going to make the argument that you can externally control motivation entirely, right? So I have no motivation, and then I went to a motivational event, and now look at me, I'm so motivated. I don't buy that, because it is contrary to some of the things I focus on about attributing outcomes to things that we have an individual influence on. But certainly the idea that motivation matters is incredibly important, right? And if you disrespect yourself so much that you say to yourself, and you tell the world, like, hey, you know what? I'm only comfortable when I'm around people who will hold me back and hold me down and prevent me from any type of, achievement. That's a sad thing. I said earlier, the show made me sad. The title is depressing in some ways, because this is the saddest thing. You should be so comfortable and excited and challenged when you're around people who are more successful than you are, which you're going to be every single moment of your life. And you should be so assertive when you say to people, you know what, I don't know. I don't know any of that. I don't know. Tell me about that. How may I do that? Yet, it does happen. And I have observed situations where instead of someone saying, you know what, I'd like to achieve that, right? So we talked about, I'm saying I can't learn unless somebody knows more than I do and they teach me, right? Whether it's about washing machines or finance or, anything. And I'm saying that it's so unhealthy and sad when somebody says, I don't want to ever be successful, so I'll be around other people who aren't successful, which is depressing. Yet like I said, I've observed when people will say, oh, somebody's more successful in this than I am, and because they're more successful in that, it makes me feel, envious around them. And because I'm envious, then I'm uncomfortable, and so because of that, then I just won't go hang out with them. So I'll hang out with other people who I don't feel are successful. I feel they're not successful, or they're equally as unsuccessful as I am. And that's just sad. In my own journey, as we continue to be works in progress, one of the areas that I've struggled with this is, we all have our own experiences in life, and some of my experiences in life with people haven't gone the way I would have liked. And so let's say that I was in a situation and I thought, oh, I just don't have the type of, spouse that I would love, right? Like I don't have that what I would like or love, right? My spouse's situation is not what I want. And so then if I said, well, I have some people that I know and they have amazingly successful spouses, right? In terms of the relationship dynamic, right? And then if I said to myself, well, I don't have what I want, and these people are more successful than I am in this area, but I will self-sabotage. And instead of using the logic that when you want something, what you do is you go around people who have done it or who are doing it, and you have them teach you, right? I mean, duh. But instead, if I said, well, you know what, I don't have the spouse that I want, then I'm not going to go around anybody that has successful spouse relationships, and I'll just hang around other people who feel like I do, right? So let's say in my mind I think, you know what, this makes me just sad. It makes me angry. Why is my situation like that, right? And then I would go find other people who were, quote, unsuccessful like I am, right? And we'd all sit around together. Yeah, me too. I can't believe it. I'm sick when I see those people, and they're all happy, or like affectionate or, nice, I mean, I just want to throw up because I'm just sick of that. I'm so uncomfortable when I'm around that. And I'm glad we're hanging out together. And then we could all sit around together in a group and be like, yeah, it's great being unsuccessful because we are. And then, yeah, I hate my situation. Do you hate your situation? Yeah, my spouse is horrible. Or someone else, I don't even have a spouse. Or someone else, well, my spouse just divorced me. And someone else, well, I wish I never was married my spouse. And then we could all sit around together. Yeah, it's horrible. And then I guess our argument would continue to be, but we're uncomfortable around those people who are in healthy relationships where they're supporting each other. Yeah. So forget them. Now we're comfortable around each other. I mean, what? Really? What I mean by the what and the really is that here's the deal. Okay. The resentment comes from, and the envy comes from something that somebody claims they want, right? So I'm using the example, which is closer to some of the stuff in my life at times, especially in the past. I might say, oh, I'm unhappy about this thing. So I'm using the example of the spouse thing, right? So you would think logically, if you want to have a certain type of, spouse relationship, it seems like you go find people who do that, right? If I want to go get my washing machine fixed, I need to go find people who are experts at fixing this washing machine. I don't need to go find people to come stand around my washing machine and say, yeah, that washing machine, it's not working. Yeah, I tried to push the button. It didn't turn on. It sure is not working. Look at that washing machine. What does that accomplish? Nothing. If I felt that I was not happy in my situation with my spouse, I need to go figure out what are the things that people who are successful, what are they doing? And so I can, again, they're going to teach me, I'm going to learn. Because obviously I'm not doing it because it's not working. I should be super duper comfortable to go to people and say, you know what, I don't know how to do this. Or what I'm doing isn't working. I need help. In anything. If I instead sit around and say, well, those people have spouses and they're always happy and, supportive and, nice and everything makes me sick. If I do that, then I accomplish nothing. And here's the thing that's so illogical that I said causes me pain about the topic. Who is hurt in this situation? The group of people who are out, quote, successful, right? So maybe they have a successful ability to fix a washing machine. Maybe they have a successful spouse relationship that's healthy and supportive, and they have great companionship and great, romantic, relationship. Or maybe their business is successful, or maybe they are successful in, dog training or whatever. If it's something that I'm upset about, right? And the only reason I'm upset is because I, quote, don't have what I want, and I'm using that language to mean, I haven't surpassed my goals, right? Then if I went and did the thing where I just sit around people who feel like I do, right? Oh, those people are so successful with that fill in the blank, right? Look at their dog, so well behaved, I can't stand it. Or look at how their spouse treats them, or I can't believe them driving like that in that car because they have that successful career. Look at their washing machine, just working and washing, right? If I sit around and I do that, who's hurt? Is it the group of people that are, quote, successful that I claim I'm uncomfortable around? Are they hurt by me doing this? No. If I'm upset about people in the healthy relationships with their spouses, you know what those people are doing? They're going through their lives having healthy relationships. That's what they're doing. I'm sitting somewhere in my little corner claiming that I'm uncomfortable around them and around other people who I claim I'm comfortable around. Yeah, spouses are horrible, right? If I do the same thing and my washing machine's still broken. Now, there are people who have knowledge to fix washing machines. They're somewhere using their washing machine. If I went around and sat around a group of people, yeah, washing machine, this washing machine is not working. I can't believe this washing machine. This is a bunch of junk. Really? Who is hurt by my completely self-destructive argument that, quote, successful people make me uncomfortable? The only person who's hurt is me. So in addition, and in fact, I have layered more hurt on top of really poor outcomes. So I wanted my washing machine fixed. I refused to be around people who knew how to do it because I claimed that they were more successful and made me uncomfortable. So now I just sit around with people who are like me, who know nothing about washing machines, and we just stand around looking at it, complaining about how it's not working and how horrible it is, and that we're victims, that the washing machine won't work, and we get nowhere. In addition to my washing machine still being broken, I'm in a situation where now I even feel worse because I'm sitting around people just like, in the same thing, right? We're so unsuccessful. Stupid washing machine. We have all these dirty clothes. Really? That's what people do. And that's what this show title, I am so impassioned about it. If I want a healthy relationship with my spouse, I need to hang out with people who are doing that and ask them questions. Hey, I see you guys, when you're sort of hanging out, you sort of ask each other, um, what you want to eat first or something like that. It seems like that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a great idea. And you can do that with anything in life. If you go around people who are more successful than you are, then you have the potential to learn, right? If you're honest and you say to people, I don't know. And then they'll be like, oh, most people will be, oh, I'd love to help you. Why? Because when somebody is succeeding and surpassing their own goals in an area, they're delighted to share that with people because they're already feeling good about that. They have pride in themselves. And there's nothing as humans that we enjoy more, right, than A, attention, and then B, the ability to be of service. I would argue that we should put being of service ahead of attention, but humans are humans. So for me, for example, in my life, when I felt like in the past, I don't have the spouse relationship I want. Okay, then what I seriously did this. I went and talked to people, who are my friends or relatives or whatever, who had successful relationships. And I asked them stuff like, hey, I see you guys have two different, TV areas. Oh yeah, we do that because that way we don't ever argue over something, and then there's not any kind of, disagreement over that. Perfect idea. That works for them. I'm not saying it worked for me, but I'm saying that you ask people and just pay attention. The best thing you can do is get out there and acquire knowledge so that you can then surpass your goal. If you don't want to surpass your goal, then what you're going to do is stay where you are or regress. It gets worse, right? Like I said, if I never fixed the washing machine and didn't my dirty clothes pile up, then I'm either going to have to go out to the laundromat, and then spend the money on that, or I don't know, how am I going to get clothes? Am I buying new clothes? I mean, come on, this is ridiculous. But this is what people do. You're not uncomfortable around people more successful than you are because you're always around people more successful than you are. What you're uncomfortable around and your problem is with you. You know that you're settling for a washing machine that doesn't broke, that a washing machine that's broken that doesn't work, for a spouse relationship or a friend or that's not healthy. You're settling for a career where you're not respected. You're settling for an income that's less than you aspire to. You're the one that you're doing this yourself. And the thing, like I said, is who's hurt by this? You're the only one. That's why it's so sad. The people who could help you, who would be delighted to come fix your washing machine, right? You won't even let them do it because you're sitting around saying, I'm not comfortable around them. What? It has nothing to do with them. This is all about us. And in my own life, when I've been in situations where I've started down this mental path, and I think we all have been susceptible to this at some place, right? Maybe it's physical fitness at some point. Maybe I'm thinking, I'm not, as physically fit as I'd like to be. And then, think, oh, well, I go, to the gym and I see these people and they're so physically fit. If I, look at them, so fit, how healthy. I mean, look, thinking things, we all think things. We think great things and we think stupid things all the time. When we think stupid things, all we have to do is recognize in our mind, hey, that was kind of stupid. Those people who are fit, more successful at this, those people I should talk to. Hey, do you, what classes do you work out in? Or do you do weight training? Or, people love to share. Again, attention, and I get to be of service. People love this. Whatever it is, right? If I'm at the dog park and I'm like embarrassed, oh, my dog is acting, really, inappropriately. Look how well behaved that dog over there is. I can't believe it. I felt comfortable around them. No, that's stupid. What is logical and what helps me get closer to meeting and surpassing my goals is to go to the people and say, hey, I see how well behaved your dog is. Did you train them or did you use a dog trainer? And they'll sit there and they'll tell you, oh, well, no, I use this book. I'll send you, give me your email. I'll send you a link to it. Or, yeah, I hired that service in town. Or, oh, my son did this. He's really good at it. Whatever. Like, who knows what great things in your life will happen when you go ahead and you let go of this ridiculous thing that you aren't like everybody else. You are. All of us are around people all the time that are more successful than us. It's just the nature of life. And it's a good thing. I'm thrilled to be around people who know more than I do because then I can potentially change my situation. Sitting around with people who don't know anything, just like I don't know anything, gets me nowhere. And the only person I hurt is myself. So these are the types of things. The uncomfortable situation isn't because the people you're around are, quote, more successful than you are. The uncomfortable situation is you're uncomfortable with yourself. You can find other people to sit around and do nothing and complain just because unfortunately those people do exist. The challenge is if you go hang out with them, you're not going to fix anything. You're not going to be moved. You're going to move away from your goal, and everything you're mad about is going to get worse. Because the people who could help you, you refuse to go around them because you claim that you're uncomfortable. You're not uncomfortable around them. You're uncomfortable with yourself. You got to start with a place of, hey, you know what? Nobody knows everything. I'm just like everybody else. I'm around people all the time who are more successful than I am. That is what every single human experiences. And I have enough self worth that I totally accept. The smartest thing I can say is, I don't know. And I say that all the time to people honestly. And I ask people questions. And I ask for help. Hey, how did you do that? Can you help me? Thank you. That's growth. That's success. That's life. And the weird thing about this is it feeds itself. The more that you feel like when you wake up, hey, that was pretty good. I did, I was all right. I did okay that day. The more you stay down that path. The more you hang around people, all they do is lament how horrible everything is, and then complain about people who aren't angry. Ugh, those people, those good, well-behaved dogs. Look at them. Seriously. You could go to the dog park more often and have fun if you would take the time to learn from the people whose dogs are well behaved instead of just sitting around complaining about them. And that applies to everything, to your washing machine, to your spouse, to your career, to your income, to your health, to your fitness, all of it. Again, now as we move through this program and reflecting on how self-destructive this concept is, it really has just reignited in me. How serious and how much my plea, and I'm sure it's no one in our community I would probably predict, but if you ever encounter someone in your life anywhere who starts down this path with this illogical stuff, call them on it in a nice way. Look, the only person you hurt is yourself. You deserve to be able to meet and surpass your goals. You deserve that. Every human does. All humans. Why are you stopping that? Why are you self-sabotaging? Why are you anti-knowledge? Why are you anti-growth? Why are you anti-movement? You just want to sit in the same place with no knowledge, with other people around you. I don't have any knowledge either. Why? Why are you hurting yourself? And those are the underlying issues that people need to really work on. Maybe with family or friends, maybe with mental health professionals. Some people have spiritual or religious groups or leaders that can help them, but that's the issue. Why do you hurt yourself like this? What is this? Yeah, and the reason that it's uncomfortable, again, I just have to close on this. The reason it feels quote uncomfortable is because when I'm around someone and I'm saying, "Oh, look at them, the washing machine just works. Look at them," I'm not uncomfortable around because of them. I'm uncomfortable because I know better. I know that I should have what I should have. And I'm uncomfortable because I'm treating myself this way and I'm preventing myself from having the life I should have. And that's why I'm uncomfortable. And being around the people who are learning is just a reminder. And that's why I'm claiming I'm uncomfortable. It's nothing to do with uncomfort. It has to do with the fact that I know better. I know this isn't the life for me. No washing machine. And that's the uncomfort. So it needs to be recognized for what it is. So that it's an action item for you to say to yourself, wait a minute, why am I doing this to myself? And again, there's always issues that are causing it. So it could be, who knows? It's a combination of, it's everything. Your whole personality, your life experience. If there's some kind of, maybe there was a natural disaster, maybe there was some kind of illness, maybe there was some sort of family origin situation, maybe there was some sort of, bullying situation. Like it's all of that. But somewhere in there, you started to turn on yourself and to treat yourself this disrespectful way. And yeah, you're uncomfortable because you're reminded that you know better. And that's a sign for you to run toward the people who are, quote, more successful. And you know this. So do it. And never, ever, ever again, like I said, even if you hear somebody else, right, trying to say something like this, that, try to be of service. And wait a minute, everybody's around people more successful than they are. How can I help you, right? There's honestly just is again, it's so sad when people refuse to treat themselves with respect. And hopefully, you and I will continue to be part of the solution sets for people, so that they can face some of these things and move forward, run toward those goals, run toward those people more successful. Say to them, I don't know. Can you tell me? Can I learn from you? Yeah, I'd be happy to. See how easy this is? And even if you get every once in a while somebody who's like, no, I'm not going to tell you how I'm so successful. Fine, move on to the next person. You deserve this and you know it. That's why you're uncomfortable. You know this isn't the life for you, sitting around on people moving away from their goals. You know that's not the life for you. That's what's triggering those feelings. So you're going to fix them by running toward the people who are quote more successful, and then learning. And that sets your whole path, the whole life, right, on that path. And it's wonderful. And I'm excited that we had a chance to talk about this, although again, this topic can be, as we see in this discussion, a bit painful. But we're going to continue to do what we can and get as many people to think about these things and go deep inside and say to themselves, come on, I know better. I deserve better. And as always, I want you to know how much it means to me that you took the time to join me in the show. Reach out, come to CourtneyAnderson.com and let me know what's on your mind. Explore our resources. If you have a show topic, share that with me. As always, I do ask if you find our program anywhere on our iTunes or any other distribution partner, you leave a rating or review. And I do need to mention, I'm still learning, but I'm on Twitter at Zealous Business. And again, have a great rest of whatever of your day remains. And get out there, and all of us, no matter what situation we're in, can continue, as we said, to run toward the people who are more successful than us, because that's how we learn. And I had to just clarify, yes, I did get my washing machine fixed. It is fixed. It is, at this moment, it's been working. It's beautiful, right? Clean clothes. I'm so happy. And that's because, right, I'm running toward people who are more successful than I am. And I say, I don't know, can you help me? And there it is. So let's keep doing that. All of us we'll have to keep doing this our whole lives, right? And it's a wonderful thing when we can learn and grow and have clean clothes. Thank you.